Hi everyone, I'm Cassandra Garcia, Global Pro Artist for Bobbi Brown, and I'm here to show you how to get the perfect wing liner for both beginners and advanced. First things first, let's make sure our hands are sanitized so we feel nice and clean since we'll be touching our eyes. And let's move on to step one. First step is our Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. I've actually chosen a color in Nude Beach, which I really love. It's almost like a neutral base with a tint of color. This has a little bit of a soft pink. It's the perfect base for any liner, any shadow. My lids tend to get a little bit oily too. So this actually helps keep my liner on longer, but also my shadow on if I choose. And what I love about this is that it's a base and eyeshadow in one. It's perfect to neutralize any discoloration on the lid, but also helps to brighten, neutralize, and give it a little bit of color. So for the beginner's liner, I'm gonna choose a powder. A powder is a little bit easier to use and it fixes your mistakes really quickly. You can also use a pencil for this, but what I love about the powder is that the brush stays really nice and thin. With an ultrafine liner brush, the trick to a winged eye is finding where it's actually gonna wing out. So I'm just gonna do a little flick. It just gives you that nice stencil to extend out. Then I'm gonna take that same color and go in little by little. And see how this powder gives a dusty kind of finish? So if you tilt back, you can see it. When you come up, it's a little messy, but let's get that nice and perfect. So I always take my finger to just kind of see. You can use a Q-tip, totally up to you. And now work your way back in. And what I'm doing is dipping as I go into the shadow, but little by little applying. That way you get a nice, beautiful wing, softly diffused because it is a powder. And what I love about a wing is that it lifts up the eye and extends outward so you can kind of see the difference. The nice thing about doing it with the powder too is that you can use any powder you have as long as it's dark enough to be a liner. You can do it with colors, totally up to you. A couple little tricks when using powder for your winged liner. Make sure you have a little bit of an eye blender brush ready to go. In case anything falls, you can just flick it up and everything lifts up and cleans it up so it won't mess up your concealer. You can also do it with a wet brush. That same brush, just dip the brush in a little bit of water and then dip it in your eyeshadow to get a little bit of a crisper line. You can use a little bit of Longwear Cream Shadow Stick right above the liner that you did, and you can use that same ultrafine liner brush to buff out any imperfections as well. So use the Longwear Cream Shadow Stick to your advantage. Another little tip is using a Q-tip. You can dampen it and that'll actually give you that nice clean wing. Okay, so let's get into the advance. I'm gonna start with our Longwear Gel Eyeliner. This formula I love. I've been using it since the beginning. Tried and true. I love it. So I've already got my Longwear Cream Shadow Base on, and this is actually gonna glide on so much easier because I have that on. So again, I'm gonna create that nice little flick so I can see exactly where my liner is gonna go. You could even do it on each side if you want, but I'm gonna start off with this side. Then I'm gonna work my way going little by little into the eye. So you're almost following that beautiful kind of little flick that you did, and I'm almost creating that nice line with this tiny little brush. And I like to go a little bit thinner at the beginning and a little thicker at the end, so it gives that eye that nice lift. So this is a nice pro tip going in to fill in that waterline on top. You can do it on bottom as well. Another great trick is taking your ink liner and just going in with that fine tip and making it extra dark. So it just gives you that little extra. And if you happen to get that Pro Artist Eye Kit, take a little of that golden pink and just put it in the inner corner of the eye for that extra pop of glow. So there you have it, the perfect wing liner for both beginners and advanced. It's all about starting with that flick first and then working your way in, going little by little with your favorite product to use. Remember, you can use powder, you can use pencil, you can use a liquid, you can use gel, totally up to you. And remember, practice makes perfect. Thanks, guys.